Well, I could go with Toulouse Hair. All right. Okay. Fit to, yeah. All right. And Toulouse Hair is Genesis 8, so it is Genesis 8 female. It is hair, it is short. Okay. And I need to make it look more male. I wish I had just a male hair that looked like that. Okay, well. Pull these sides in. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is a really nice hair done by, I could see the artist. I totally can't read this path, but anyway. Well, let's see. All right. Yeah, it looks more male. Let's see. We'll make it shorter. Yeah. I really want to pull that in. Okay. The back. The back needs to be shorter, but let's see if there is an adjustment. We're going to make the sideburns really short. Okay. And I don't want it windy. Not at all. Okay. I'll take the volume down. That looks more male to me. Okay. At least Cheyenne male. Okay. And that's much better. Okay. Now that's let's see. He's middle-aged, so his hair is going to be a little longer, but it is pretty straight. So, okay, that looks better now. So I will save this. And by better, I mean more like my character, because this is all relative. So I'm going to female male. He's got a female skin because Skin Builder doesn't work for males. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. So, and I brilliant set, so I need to work with it. Work with me. Let's see. Alright, let's X rotate. Okay, that's better. Y rotate. Why? I don't know. And Z rotate to get the lights on him. And his skin looks atrocious. Oh, this is terrible. Alright, so I'm going to change the parent to him. This will include everything. Alright, and I've got the Brilliant Set 1, which usually does for my lighter skinned characters. So now we need to go into alright, so let's look at his basic body shape. Yeah, I've got him looking like a giant. Okay, I need to dress him, so let me do that. And alright, let's see what I got. Oh, I should have personal stuff, right? Let's see, I should have an outfit already. Let me here. But I just got a new outfit, which is awesome, and I want to use it. So I'm gonna, nope, it's not those outfits. Alright, the bridge officer outfit. This is awesome. Now, him being the emperor, he's going to be in gray, so I'm going to have to change the color of this outfit. So let me make sure all of these are fit to him. Okay, let's take a look at him. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring him up. I've got to work on that skin, but first the outfit needs to be all gray. So let me get all that. And of course, the way I describe the pants in my books, I have no clue how to get that look out of this outfit. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So I need surfaces. And I'm going to select everything. And this is going to be, well, it's already gray, but it needs to be a lighter gray. Oh. Well, I think what I'm going to do is do that so that I get a uniform gray color. Now I need a sash. And what I've been using is the, okay. Did I save the sash? Let me find out. Import into my scene. And I need to get down to people. Genesis 8 male, characters, giant, oh, clothing. Okay, nothing. Let's see if I put it down here. Alright, because I had it in Paul, but I'm not finding it. Why is it got something in there? I want to see all of it. Okay, well, I am not finding my custom file. So, that's disturbing that it's not there because I had a file for this. Alright, well, okay, I don't know how to find my personal files. I thought I put it where I could find it. Let's see, I need to save this. Alright, so let's go ahead with his skin. I'm going to go into Skin Builder, and I get to that by scripts. It should be there. Okay. Right, well, okay. And I'm not seeing Skin Builder. I don't know why, but I'm going to go into the content library and find it. That's Scene Builder. I don't need Scene Builder. I don't need categories. I just need products. S for Skin Builder. Let's see if I can get it to open. You're taking forever. Why? Okay, Skin Builder 8. Where is it? And what I will need to do is build a female skin because Skin Builder does not do males. But what I can do is use the UV swap. That's what I need to do. First I will do the UV swap, which is another product that you can get on DAZ, which is highly useful. So where do I find it? Utilities. It should be there. And I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? Alright, let's go to Products, UV Swap. This is another reason why I like to use Genesis 8, because I have so many utilities that only work on 8, not 8.1. So I am not sure if this one works, but on 8.1, but I don't want to find out in the middle of the build. So let's see. UV swap. So it's UV, so I've got to go down further. It would help if I could see the small print. This print is driving me crazy. If only I could make it bigger. I don't know how. Alright, you are. Utopia. So where is my UV swap? Let's see, apply female UVs. Okay. Did it do it? I don't know if it did or not. Come on. Okay. It's usually in the smart content, and I don't have to go looking for it. I am not seeing UV swap as a product anywhere here. So it's like, why? Why is it not here? Is it under V for some reason? Unknown to me? No. I mean, it should be under UV. And I'm not seeing anything but UT. TUV, right? It should be down here. It's going to be a long night. Okay, let's go back and just make absolutely sure it's not here. But I'm really not seeing it. And it should be right there. Does it need to be installed? Let's look at all files. Let's look at the content library. No, it would be under Smart. Usually at the bottom there's a thing that says install. I'm not seeing that. So I don't understand. Do I need an update? I'm just not figuring this out. I've got this neat content utility, which is why I have this extra menu over here, but it's only figures, wardrobe, hair, materials. Oh, let's look and see if I can find my materials. I don't know. Aha! Apply female UVs. Yes. Merge into scene. Okay, now we're in business. Now let's look at Skin Builder. Alright, let's look at other. Nope. Okay. Now you probably noticed that I do have skins in there that are other colors. And there is a, let's see. sure I've got the female thing applied, but I'm not seeing. Let's look under utilities. It does have things. Alright, let's see if it shows up here. Sometimes it'll show up in this neat utility where it doesn't anywhere else. Okay. There's the M4 to 8 clothing converter. I highly recommend this product. Sickle yield is awesome, and right now there's a big sale going on. So if you're wanting to use some of your old M4 clothing, then definitely you want to have that. But I'm not seeing Skin Builder. Why? Let's look under scripts. Nothing? I am not seeing Skin Builder. This is very disturbing to me that I'm not finding Skin Builder. And there's nothing under scripts or utilities. Let's see if it's under unassigned. Well, it's got my directories. This is nice. But it's not showing my assets. Okay. Presets. Not seeing it under that. I'm looking everywhere I can think of, and I'm just kind of scratching my head and going, I don't know where else to look. Okay. Well. And I have one skin. He's yellow. He's lemon yellow. I need a lemon yellow skin. And I don't have my utility to create one, which is really not making me a happy camper. I get so frustrated with just trying to find files in my DAZ. It doesn't make sense to me that the program can't find my files when they are obviously where they should be, but I can't find them, and I try to put them where I can find them, and that fails most of the time. It does not make sense to me. And my presets are gone. I had presets. I had material presets. I saved everything like 5 times a piece. And it should be findable, and it's not. I guess I'm going to have to write tech support and say, help me, and please put it in a for dummies format so I can understand the answer, because I'm 63 years old and my brain is going. So, I don't know what to do. Well, if I can't get to Skin Builder, what I can do is select the surfaces and go. All right. There he is. Oh, this is so hard to see. I wish that they made a theme with really bright colors so I could see how to select things. Good grief, why is that color like that? Ew. It needs to be a nice golden yellow. That's better. Alright, I need to be selecting more than that, so I can't see what I'm doing is part of the problem. Skin, lips, and nails. Alright, let's make it this color. Alright, much improved. Not what I want, but improved. Okay, so let's make this orange because it's a nice golden yellow color. Okay, and his eyes need to be blue. So, and he's Elshar Cheyenne, so he's got the mood ring kind of eye. So his eyes go light when he's happy and dark when he's not, and they're blue. So, let's see. So basically, for each frame, I'm going to have to, let's go to the iris. And I'm going to make this base color blue. Nice medium blue. Okay. And let's see. Oh, okay. So that can stay. That's fine. Okay. So let's do a test render and see how that skin color is looking. I'm not so sure, but we're gonna just see. And just put a smile on his face. Let's see. Let's go to actor, people, I'm not finding the adjustments that I want. I'm totally not finding facial expressions. Why am I not finding facial expressions? I'm finding everything else. I don't want to shape him. I want to pose him. Goodness. Okay. And I can't read this. Oh, that's part of the uniform. Okay. So, this is not making me happy. Things are not where they were last time. So, okay, here we go. If I could read this, it would help a lot. I totally can't see this. Okay. Face. Let's see. my expressions? I can't see. This is just... I need a magnifying glass for my screen is what I need. I need to be able to color these titles so I can see them. This gray on gray is not working for me. And I don't know why the folks at DAZ thought it was a good idea to make everything gray, because for people my age, you totally can't see it. There's not enough contrast here. I'm not finding my expressions, so let's find a nice expression for him in poses. Okay, that's good. The piano expressions, I love them. Okay, now, all right, let's see about rendering this. I bought some new stuff, but I'm not seeing my new stuff. So it's like, okay, so the expression stuff I had is no longer there because I bought these two huge expression packages, and I'm not seeing them in my products. So I'll find them, and hopefully I'll have my act together better. This is the first time I've brought up DAZ since I bought all the new stuff. So I just probably need to install it. I did install it with IM, but I'm not sure what happened because obviously the expression stuff did not get installed. So let me give it a name. And I can't see how to type. I don't know where I am now. Portrait. Alright, we are ready to render. Let's see how it comes out. It looks so dark. But luckily, this machine does not take long to do its thing. So, if it doesn't seem to be working right, I might reboot my DAZ. That might help. I was playing World of Warcraft. Maybe all the memories tied up in that or something? I don't know. Could go back to my thing about, it's the 21st century. I want my robot and I want my flying car, darn it. I just want things to work. I'm old and I'm tired, I've been waiting for the future for so long, and it's partially here, and I want it to be all the way here. I want an AI that I can say, okay, set my settings so that I've got adequate light on my subject. But we'll see how this does. I'm usually very pleased with the result on my Brilliance lights. So we'll see how this goes. case you're wondering, I do all my rendering off screen. It's very quick that way. If I have to wait for it to draw and redraw on the screen, it takes, twice, maybe 3 times as long. And I'm an impatient person. I want to see my results now. So I am, it's taking longer than it usually does. It's already gone 2 minutes and 39 seconds. And 0%, it should be there. So my DAZ is definitely not acting right. Well, we'll see how it turns out. I'm not happy that I can't get into my skin builder and build a really nice looking skin. This is not going to look as realistic as I want. But the default skins do pretty well. You can put a 10 on them, and if you're not doing tremendous close-ups like I'm doing right now, they look pretty good. So we'll see. I love the Toulouse Hair. So this is kind of how I imagined his hair. We'll see how it looks on the render before I pass judgment. Okay, well, we're finally getting some iterations here. So, and for those of you who might be joining me late, I am working in DAZ to do a character. So I am modifying a character that I already made. I put a different hair on him, and I changed the skin color, and I set up the lights, which weren't set up. So we're going to see how this looks. Hopefully it will look close to what I wanted. I still need to find a sash, and I need to put my pins on the sash. So I need to put a texture on it. And I had that all saved as a model, and I can't find my files. This is totally the frustration of my life. I save files until I'm blue in the face. When I go to look for them, they're not there. And this is a documented Windows 10 problem. I had it in Windows 11 as well, and I went back to Windows 10. Now you may think, oh, she's just loony as they come. Well, check PC Magazine. There is an article on why Windows 11 is a total fail. I was getting so many DNS errors that some of the pages I was trying to get on the internet were taking 10 minutes to load. That's like 1995. I found out that even though I got a new computer and bought Windows 11 with it, I didn't have to pay for Windows 10 to roll it back to Windows 10. So I am a much happier camper, and I did that just a few days ago, actually. I am much happier with Windows 10, but the disappearing file problem is something that Microsoft needs to solve. What happens in software is people rush things out before they're ready. And they say, oh, we'll just patch it later. That's what's wrong with half the games out there, that the management who do not do the programming, who do not do the artwork, they say, oh, we got to stay on a schedule. We got to get this out now. And, all the developers and the programmers and the artists are saying we need more time to make this quality. and management is saying, well, we need to get this out now. I think that management should listen to its employees. And this is a pernicious problem of all corporations, that they are not listening to their employees. They are not making an attempt to keep their employees happy and deliver quality products to the end user. They are rushing things, and just it's totally not working. And that's why you see so many for hire signs that are perpetual, especially in restaurants and things like that. People are tired of being expected to work long hours, not have time with their families, and any size company needs to look at this and say, well, how can I accommodate my customers and my employees? Because there is a middle ground and it does work. But as long as they don't want to pay an employee what they're worth, as long as a living wage is not a thing in our country, we have so many people out on the street and doing drugs because they are hopeless, because they cannot get ahead. Everybody tells you when you're young, oh, if you just work hard enough, you will be able to retire in style. And so people work their little hearts out, and then they end up not getting a place to live. What's wrong with this picture? We have the elites who are making all the money, and they're stressed out too. They're sick of the rat race too. We need to all come together and work out solutions together to end discrimination, to end the lack of housing that is reasonably priced so that a person at a minimum wage job can afford a place to live. We have all these problems and they're interconnected. The incarceration problem, the mental health problem, the poverty problem, the problem of people getting disabled. All of it is interconnected. You cannot have a society and just say, well, we're not going to look at those things. We're just going to look at the bottom line, profit. No, it does not work. Our society is falling apart at the seams because of mentality like that. We need to start thinking of taking care of everybody. And there are certain people that may say, well, that's too expensive to take care of everybody. No, it's not. You save money in the long run. When you give people health care, then they are motivated to go to their work. When you accommodate people in the workplace, they feel valued. When you have people who feel valued, they work harder. And if people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, or if they're going to be able to pay their utility bill this month, or if we're going to be out on the street because we can't afford the rent, it went up, these problems are not going away. And we can close our eyes to the fact that every city, small town, every place in the country has a tent city. You should ask about that. You should ask your city fathers, where's the tent city and what are you doing about it? Because the cleanup on these tent cities is astronomical. That's a large part of each city's budget. If all the government agencies would get together and the corporations and figure out ways to house people, you would have less crises going on in our nation right now. Just saying. Okay, my render's been going for 11 minutes. 12 minutes. Something is vitally wrong. It should not be taking this long. This is a simple render of a person. It should not have anything complicated going on with the lighting. So I'm kind of wondering what is going on with this. So it's about half done. It's going to take a while. I'm not happy about it taking a while, but it is what it is. So and I do big renders, but that's not really the problem, because I always do big renders and they usually take like 3 minutes tops. So I don't understand why this one is taking so long. It's not the hair, it's not the skin, it's not the outfit. So it's like, what happened? Why is my DAZ broken? I'll just have to see when the render comes out. Then we will know if there are major problems with this. And there's nothing else in the scene. I can't look right now because I'm rendering. But, I mean, it's an empty scene. There shouldn't be anything complicated about the lighting on this. And lighting is usually what takes you a long time in your scene. So, I'm not really understanding what's going on with my thing. But let me go over to Twitch Studio and see if I've got anybody in my chat. Ooh. Hello, Drop Dog and Irabs and Kavipso6 and Larak Raf. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll be happy to try to answer. In the meantime, I'll go back to my DAZ screen, and when I create a character, usually I make a little text file and I'll go into whatever story the character's in and I will start listing off, okay, he's got blue eyes, he's got light brown hair. I didn't choose a hair color. I totally am not with it tonight. This hair color may work, but it's probably going to be too dark because he has blonde hair. So, anyway. But this is a test render anyway. For my Giant, they have a particular body shape. They look like us. Their heads are a little bigger. Their eyes are a little bigger. They're very, very intelligent. They have twin fingers, which are rectangularly shaped and flat. They have corners. So you've got 2 fingers on each hand, but they have all the joints that we have in our fingers, except they are a lot more flexible because their skeletons are silicone based. So they have a very sleek appearance. They don't have as many joints as we do. Instead, their bones can actually bend. They have very strong muscles to support that. So, A giant could hold up a car for 2 days without breaking a sweat if he had to. They are very, very strong. They also have telepathy, so they can read minds, but they have very strict protocols on how much they can use their telepathy. They can form a light mind link with somebody if they're trying to help them with the skill, but they generally stay out of people's minds unless they are invited there. So they do pick up on our surface thoughts. So we Earthens, of course, don't have telepathy, and we're not used to disciplining our thoughts. So, we think a lot of things that we're intending to say. Anything that you think of and you're going to talk about it, that's the outer circle. Anything that you are thinking that you wouldn't share with somebody, your private thoughts, that's the inner circle. So there are these divisions between outer circle and inner, and it is a complicated thing for us Earthens, if we acquire telepathy, to adjust to control our thoughts so that they are not being broadcast all over the place. So, in the 13 galaxies that this man is the head of, there are a lot of non-telepathic species like the bacillips, and they helped Earth create 50 colonies. There are many telepathic species, such as the Giant and the Elshars, who have gobs of colonies, and the Thordies too. So you've got some major factions that have a lot of colonies. It equals a lot of trading partners. And that is what the Unified 13 Galaxies is all about. It's basically a big trade network. There are no armed ships. There is no policing. There is trade. And if a member of the Unified, to be a member of the Unified, you cannot have slavery going on. If you are advocating slavery and taking slaves, you will be expelled as a member. So that hurts your trade. So you're motivated, if you're a member of the Unified, to not get involved in slavery so you can keep your trade through their network. Now the Alliance allows slavery. They formed their trade network because they wanted to continue slavery. So the Bacillipians, they keep slaves. Elshars keep slaves. But they can't take Earthens as slaves. This is a treaty that was negotiated when Earth joined the Alliance, that Earth and her colonies would not keep slaves. There is slavery in the Earthen colonies, but it's not legal. So, I've got this universe, and if you want to take a peek at my universe, it is on World Anvil. I am adding new articles all the time, and it's in its infancy there, but I plan to put my entire universe up there, and it's pretty complex. It's got a lot of parts. So it's going to take me quite a long time to put it all up there. But the next things I'm going to add are the worlds that are in my book, 80th Scientist, which is available on Amazon Kindle. So this character is one of the characters that is in that story. So at the time, he is 7th Galaxy Minister, and the whole of 80 Scientists takes place on Arion, which is a world in the 7th galaxy. And how Arion came to be is an Elshar went to Earth in the 1840s, and he made friends with some folks, and he told them, hey, you're new in America, but how would you like to have a whole world of your own? And I can help that happen, and I can give you tech so that you can trade with other worlds. And a bunch of them said, hey, I think I'd like that. So he gathered 100 families, and they went from here in the first galaxy. The Milky Way is the first galaxy. The 7th galaxy is the Large Magellanic Cloud. And Arion is a world that the Basilips were going to colonize, and they started terraforming it, and they realized that this environment would not be good for Basilipians. So they abandoned it, and they traded it to Asha the Trader so that the Arionians could have a place to settle. And then 100 years later, here comes a Giant colony, and they negotiated for land on Arion, but there were some misunderstandings because they were negotiating in several different languages, because the Arionians wanted it that way. And because of those misunderstandings, finally the Giant decided to populate one of the moons instead of moving to Arion, and they finally got an agreement. So the Yei Giant colony was formed on the little purple moon. The Arion has 3 moons. There was one that was very much like Arion, that they made the colony beautiful, but Cevit came and invaded and killed everybody. So now that moon is vacant as a memorial to that colony of Arion. The other moon is Tonite I, and it's populated by some creatures that don't really trade. They just are self-contained. So that's Arion's system. And let's see, so Cevit Ion is a very skilled diplomat, and he became 7th Galaxy Minister, and then later Rhineo, who is Emperor at the time he's 7th Galaxy Minister, appointed him to replace him as Emperor. So let's see. Well, we're 85%. Not bad. So, you writers out there, what are you working on? If you want to type anything, and if you just want to lurk and just watch me do this character, that's fine too. If you want to be able to get the software and do what I'm doing, it's very easy to do. I will give you the link, and you can get the software too. If I can get my stuff to work. My computer is just running very slowly. I don't know what is causing it. Let me take a look here. I don't really see anything running that I don't want to be running. I am running Discord. If you want to come to my Discord server, you are quite welcome to do that too. So let me get over here. this render is just really taking a lot out of my computer. I'm having trouble getting to my links. Well, of course it would help if I could see my screen and type in the right stuff. Oh, me. The things that happen when you are old, but it's okay. Alright, I will put this link to DAZ 3D down here. Why can't I type in the chat? Alright. Okay, here we go. There you go. There's the link to DAZ 3D, and I will put the link on this after it becomes archived so that other people can, if they come in and just find my video, then they'll know where to get this software. And before I leave, if I can get things to cooperate, I will create a character from scratch so you can see how that works. So let me bring up a little notepad file here, and I will keep track of my links that I'm giving you. So there's notepad. Okay. That way these will be clickable links. And let me find a good place to put it. Okay, now I've got that, and alright, this is the software I'm using. You can go there, download it. They will not bug you about buying anything, although they do have a lot of 3D models for sale, but they also have freebies. So when you get DAZ Studio as a download, you will get characters that you can modify. You will get environments that you can put them in, lights, everything you need to do simple scenes. And there are plenty of tutorials on the DAZ 3D website to teach you how to use this tool. And as a writer, it is wonderful to be able to have a character in my head. I know what I want him to look like, but then I can go into DAZ 3D, I can model them and make them look like I've got them looking in my mind. I can dress them, and I can do a render, which rendering is hard to explain But basically, it's all about light and shadow. When you create a 3D object, it's not going to look real unless you have realistic lighting and shadows to bring out those details in your model. So in DAZ Studio, you don't have to create the person. You've got males and females, and you've got a way to make them more androgynous looking if you want to. And the characters are kind of like Barbie dolls that you can dress and pose and put lighting on, and then when you go to do the render, the software figures out, okay, the light's coming from this direction, so the shadow's going to fall this way, and it does all those neat calculations so that it can figure out where the light's coming from, where the shadows are going to fall, and how intense the shadows are going to be. So it kind of works like photography. So if you are an amateur photographer or a professional photographer, you have a leg up in using DAZ 3D, because if you understand when you're going to take a picture, you want a certain kind of lighting. In photography, period, they talk about the golden hour, that hour just before and after sunset and before and after sunrise, where you get the best lighting for your subject. And you don't want a colored light. So, like my light here in my bedroom is kind of yellow, so it kind of makes me look kind of yellow, so it's, not the best lighting setup. Now I can add an external light, so I happen to have one right here. So if I add light to myself, I can turn this on, and I can either make this light more, I can make it dimmer so it doesn't wash out the light that's already here. I can also change the color of it. I can make it warmer or cooler, or I can have both. So you see how that changes how I look. Well, this is kind of the same thing when you are working in 3D. I'll turn that off now because I don't want to distract from what's on your screen. But it's the same deal with the lighting in DAZ. You can make the lighting cooler, warmer. You can affect the intensity of the light. You can make it more like daylight, or you can make it like soft lighting, or you can do nifty effects like have a red light over here, blue light over here, and maybe an orange light behind them to give rim light. So if you understand a little bit about lighting, then it goes a long way towards making your characters look more realistic instead of more like a video game. So, and I am guilty about some of my book covers looking kind of video gamey, but I really strive for realism. And it's a process. It takes practice, and it takes experience. And I'm constantly watching YouTube, learning a new technique, or, learning how to get the most out of DAZ and other softwares that I use also to produce my book covers, because it's not enough just to have the character floating there. I mean, it goes a long way towards, getting your reader involved. If you've got a character that looks interesting, then, then you have them do something interesting on your cover, And what I do when I am going to create a book cover, I'll go through my story, I will find the description of the place, I will go into my View 2016. Now that's not a free software, by the way, but I have it, so that's what I use. There are also other softwares. DAZ has Carrera and Bryce, which can both be used for backgrounds. There are also backgrounds you can get that you can just put behind your characters. And they have all sorts of 3D models, and you don't have to get them just from DAZ. I am constantly going over to Share CG and finding what I can't create myself. So you can find background models. If you need to show a particular object in your scene, if it's something that's important to your story, you can either find it on Renderosity or Share CG or another reputable 3D model site. There's Blend Swap, there's all sorts of them. And you can import a model with an extension OBJ or DAE, which is light something format. I get all of it confused, but it can read a lot of different formats. So you can bring these models into your picture. Now, if you're doing a book cover, you do have to worry about copyright. So anything you buy from the DAZ Studio store, or if you get a freebie from there, it's going to have a standard license that you can use this for your commercial renders. And that is the kind of licensing you need to be able to do your book cover. So you want to be sure that any model you use in your picture, that you've got a license to be able to use that. So if you're doing a book cover for your story, you want to make sure that you're using things that are okay to use for that purpose. If you're giving your work away, say you do fan fiction, you don't have to worry as much about that. You just need to make sure that it's okay to go on the internet with your content. You know, I know that for Star Wars, George Lucas really doesn't care if you make up stories about his universe and if you put them where other people can read them on the internet. But Star Trek, you do not want to anger Paramount. They will sue you. So you really need to be careful what you are, what you're doing from a legal standpoint, because you can lose your house. I mean, really, it can be horrible fines. So you want to be sure that whatever you're using is legally okay for you to use for the purpose that you're using it. And if you're selling your work, I sell my stories on Amazon Kindle. I do have a free one over on Wattpad called The Art of Being Grateful, which is free to read, and I will make that link available too. But most of my stories are paid stories. So, however, if you want to read one of my stories and you're willing to put a little review up there, I'll give it to you for free. So all you have to do is write to me and I will send you a PDF copy. So there's that. But, you just want to be sure when you're writing that you're not writing about products or big corporations, they will come after you. You know, it seems like if you mention Coca-Cola um, in your character's hand, you know, they've got a can of Coke. If you mention that, Coca-Cola might come after you. And it seems counterintuitive, but every time you watch a movie, if you see a romance novel on that table and you see a brand name of coffee or you see a brand name of a fast food that they've been to, they have paid that corporation for the privilege of displaying their logo, even though it benefits them. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's the way that works. So you want to be real careful. You know, if you mention a brand name, it's, you know, it may not be okay. I have been guilty of doing that in my stories, but really, I don't, you know, I just mention, I don't go into detail about, you know, what it looks like or whatever, but it's really better to avoid anything brand name in your book covers, definitely, because you have to have permission, even though you can get 3D models of places that you would see as you go about your daily lives. But if you display those on your book cover, you may be in legal trouble. So make sure that anything you put in your book cover is more of a generic thing, or make up your own logo if you've got the means to do that, or look for something that somebody else has made up that is okay to, that's licensed so that you can use it. And it looks like my render is finished. So now I'm going to go to my directory and I'm going to share my screen. So let me go over here and change the capture to full screen application so you can see. All right. So now you should be able to see it when I go over here to my File Explorer, and I will go to my cover. No, it's not there. I have to think about, okay, where do I have these things? DAZ Renders is here. So here we go. Oh my. Oh, I'm embarrassed. That's awful looking. The hair looks alright, but the skin totally does not look right. Okay, so, and the clothes look great, but oh my. So I'm really going to have to fix that. Alright, so this is all I can do here with Cevit Ion. I'm definitely going to have to save this file, and I don't know why that took so long, because that render is not that big a deal. I mean, this is a very simple render. It should not have taken 15 minutes to do. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, and his eyes aren't blue. So, yeah, lots of problems with this. Okay, but if I'm going to do just an earthen, let's create one from scratch, shall we? So you can see how I do this. So I'm going to do new. I've saved my work. So here is a brand new scene. I'm going to go up to Smart Content. And by the way, when you first bring this up, there will be under Window, Style, you can select your style, and there are different styles. for your screen, the way you want it to look. So that's dark side. That's highway. That's lighter. I think I'm going to go with that. I didn't realize it thinks I reinstalled DAZ. I don't know why. I didn't put it in a different place. Excuse me. Okay, so you can choose one of these looks for your screen. So you can choose which one you want. Now why did it, oh yeah, it's this little drop down, and then there's Main Street. So I'm going to go with Main Street, but for y'all, you probably want to start with maybe highway. It's a little simpler display. When you go through the tutorials, it'll tell you which one of these screens that they're going to use for their tutorial. And then if you set your window to the same thing, then you'll be on the same page. The menu will look the same. So I like Main Street because I'm more of an advanced user and I want to see all of the bells and whistles. So I'm going to do that. And oh, that's much better. I can read it now. Dark side was my problem. Oh, okay. Yeah, this has a lot more contrast. So, all right, if you're going to create a character from scratch, you want to be in Smart Content because that automatically tells you what things you've got in your library that you can pull out and put on your character that will work with that particular character. Now you go down to figures, and there are all sorts of figures. If you just look at everything I've got installed, you go cross-eyed. It's like, how do I choose which one of these? And it also depends on whether you're doing a kind of toon sort of thing or you're going for realism. And, you know, or you've got a robot that you want to put in there. So you've got animals, and I've got a lot of animals because I bought some over the years, and I've been using DAZ since about 2009. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of stuff in here. You won't see all of this. If you've just downloaded a fresh copy of DAZ Studio, you're not going to see a whole lot of models. There are, you know, models that come with it, but you're not going to see some of the ones that I've bought, like the DAZ House Cat or DAZ Dog 8. You have to buy those. Sorry. But there are things that come with it. I think DAZ Horse 2 comes with it. I'm not sure. But there are animals and creatures that some come with it. I think the Emoda guy comes with it. So there are things that in mechanicals, I think a couple of robots are included. I've got a lot more than that because I've gotten some freebies and I bought some recently. So, and as for people, you can go down and you can say, all right, I want to create a female. There's, boom, all the female characters. Or I want to create a male. So here's all the male characters. So I think I'll create another male, and you can go either fantasy sci-fi, or you can go real world, or you can go stylized. Stylized is kind of like cartoony. So, but if you're going for realism, then you've got all these choices. And I am usually going for either Genesis 8 or Genesis 8.1 because these are the most realistic characters. Now you can do the legacy ones, like the an advantage to the basic Genesis character is you can mix male and female. So if you're looking for you want to create somebody who has characteristics of both genders, or you're creating a creature, then Genesis is probably the most malleable of the characters, but the Genesis character is the first in the Genesis line, and it's not as detailed or as pretty looking as Genesis 8 and Genesis 8.1. Now, to show you the difference, let me get a Genesis 8.1 out here. Now, the others are characters that an artist has created. And I've got a lot of these, some I got free. But if I'm creating a character from scratch, I usually go for just the Genesis 8.1 or Genesis 8 basic character. And that way I have a blank canvas. So these characters come with the free version of DAZ Studio. So I will try to limit myself to the things that you get for free. So let's create a character. So I haven't got a character in mind, and this is taking forever to come up. Oh my. Now, if I'm going to use just the lights that are included, there are some portrait lights that are included with your character. So let's go cool. I'll use that. Now he's really kind of dark, so I might want to add a couple of other lights. I can put a warm spotlight on him, and you see there's just a little difference up here, and maybe I don't want that one. So I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to start over. Now this is the default light, but it won't look like that when you render it. So you really need to, now first off, if I'm using lights, I render with iRay because I have an NVIDIA graphics card. If you don't have an NVIDIA, say you've got an AMD system, then you might want to go with 3Delight. But I exclusively use iRay. I think it looks better. But that said, there are a lot of artists on DAZ who post renders that are amazing in 3Delight. So don't think that your realism is sunk if you're using 3Delight. But for me, I would much rather have the iRay lights. So if I'm doing iRay, there are some default portrait lights I have here. So I'm going to try the Beauty Lights 5. Oh yeah. Okay. Now you can change how you see your character. So if you go into your view, now you can go to different cameras. So your cameras will show you front view, left view, come on, left, hello. And it's not my computer is running slow. That's what's going on. It's just not doing as I want at all. Ugh. Why? Okay. I'm totally not getting anything now. Alright. I don't know why my computer chose this particular moment to rebel, but it is not working. Come on, go to perspective view. Why is this happening? Let me try turning my stuff off. Alright. Okay. Well, it was Discord. I don't know why Discord was taking all my memory, but okay, so I will leave it off. Now, I really like the brilliance lights. If I'm rendering somebody with dark skin, brilliance lights are the way to go. And this is a set that I bought. But just for the sake of doing something with the default things, I think these beauty lights are part of the default set. I'm not sure. But they look pretty good. So, the first thing you want to do is light your character. Then you're going to dress your character. So, think about what you want your character to wear. Now, in the wardrobe, and this is going to take a minute. Okay. You've got a whole bunch of things to choose from. And we have in here pants and let's see, we've got, you can go by product, and I've got a lot of things, as you can see, that I could download and I haven't done it. So but as far as the basic products, I'm going to go to the I want to go to the basic Genesis 8 starter kit, because if you're just starting out, all you need is Genesis 8. You do not need to worry about downloading Genesis 3, Genesis 2, Genesis, unless you just want to. But there might be some other props and things, and DAZ does have a thing in there that it can auto-fit older content, but you may not get a result that's as posable. So I'm going to find, let me go back. Alright, let's look at these categories on the products. I want Genesis 8 starter kit. So I'm going to go up here and click on the G, and I'm going to go Genesis 8.1. Oh, that's why I couldn't find the UV thing. Okay. Let's see. So the starter essentials, there should be a Genesis 8.1 starter essentials kit So let's see. Nope. That's an old product. Let's see. This I bought so I could use female skins on my males. Okay, this is, well, I don't see a Genesis 8 starter kit. That doesn't mean it's not here, I just can't see it. So I'm going to look at the Genesis 8 things, which also fit the 8.1 figure. So I'm going to look, there's some basic poses, and there's basic wear. So I'm going to give him a pair of blue boxers. Oh. Alright, maybe I need to... Can I get any... Alright, I'm doing I-ray, so it's MDL, not RSL. So let me try it again. An error? Why can't I get boxers on my guy? Oh, because I haven't got him selected. You have to go over here. This is your scene window, and that's where you'll be most of the time. Everything you add to your character appears in the scene window. So I've got to have him selected so I can put clothes on him. Now if I click that, it should appear. Why is it not? Well, maybe that's 3 to light. I want I-ray. Okay. So let me figure out. Well, is it on him? No. So I've clicked him open and you see his skeleton here. So he's got a hip and a pelvis and a left thigh bend and a right thigh bend. Then you've got the left thigh twist, the left shin, and you see as I'm clicking these, you get this little control right here. Now you could just pull on this and manipulate his pose that way, but I don't recommend it. I recommend that if you're going to pose your character, you go into Genesis 8.1 male and go down to actor and go down to, say we want to go into, now this is more shaping than posing, but you want to go to pose controls, and when you're in pose controls, then you can go down here. Now the 3D Universe pose kit is not a default part of the software. You have to buy that. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to just manipulate his foot to show you his right foot, so I can bend this. And if you're not seeing that, it's probably because I have not moved my camera. So when you grab these, you're moving the camera, and you can zoom in with the mouse wheel. And if you are trying to get a body part in the camera, if you click that and you go to this little thing with the photo corners and you just click that, now you have his foot, and this is his left foot. It's on the right, but it's his left, and that's what you look at. So we're doing left foot. we're going to bend the left foot. Okay, so you can see that it's really easy to do this with this slider. If you want his foot at a 90-degree angle, you can just type in 90 and hit enter, and there you've got a perfect 90-degree bend. So, or if you want a different kind of bend, if you want a 45-degree bend, then you can do that. But you can just manipulate his foot until it looks right. But I'm going to use Control Z to undo all of that and put his foot back where it was, because I'm not going to pose him that way. I usually use canned poses as a start, and then if I want something a little different, then I will manipulate. It's just quicker to use a canned pose first. So, but let's go back. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to click on his body and do that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom him out and get him all in there so I can see what's going on, and I'm going to try to dress him again. I didn't have him selected. Now, it could be that these outfits don't fit him, but that doesn't sound right to me. You should just be able to double click and have these things happen. And say I want this pose, this base pose sitting. That works. So I should be able to put clothes on him by just double clicking. I can also do things like go to eye colors or skin. I can set the translucency of his skin to medium. That will make him, and it's just not working because that's Genesis 8. So where is Genesis 8.1? If this isn't the right set, then why can't I do this? I don't understand this at all. Well, so much for that. Let's see here. Let's go back to Smart Content. I really don't know what comes with the basic stuff, so you'll just have to see for yourself. I am sorry. I don't want to just fool around with this all day. Suffice it to say, I have a lot more things than you do because I've had DAZ since 2009. So I've got a lot of stuff in my inventory to put on him. But you know, you will see what you have choices of when you download the program and start it, and create an account at DAZ3D.com, and then you'll be able to log in automatically, and whatever you get as freebies every week, you can put them into your DAZ and you're good to go. Every Wednesday there are new products. So, and of course you can buy things, but the freebies are great and you can use them. A lot of the poses, if you use, say, a Genesis 3 pose on this character, it's not going to look as good, but you can always go in and manipulate it. So don't be afraid to use older poses on the Genesis 8 series characters. And usually what works on Genesis 8 will work on Genesis 8.1. That's been my experience. I don't know why it's not working for me tonight, but let's put some clothes on this man. I would really like to put some clothes on him. And I've got outfits that I bought, but I'm trying to think of something that I got that, let's see, I'm going to put it on files, and I'm going to select pants, and I'm just going to put a pair of pants on him. The Henley pants, I think the Henley outfit came with something free, so I'm going to put those on him. And now he's got pants. Now I will put the Henley shirt. Okay. Now say you don't like the color of this shirt. You know, guys wear a lot of gray and stuff, but I don't like the color of this shirt. But what I can do is I can select the shirt, the Henley shirt, and I can go to surfaces, and I can, hello, my daughter is here. Let's see, I can, whoops, love you too.
Just wanted to come give you a hug.
Thank you. Okay, you can go to base color, and as you can see, it's this gray. The texture, we're looking at the actual texture file that the software takes that texture and lays it over the 3D model to give it that look. Now, if I want to use a different color, I can try putting that color on top of this texture. So what happens if I select this and I go for a dark blue? Voila! I have a dark blue shirt. And I like that, so I'm going to keep that. Alright, so now he's bald. Let's put some hair on him. So we're going to go back,
Mom,
and
it's not showing DAZ again.
oh,
Did you switch back?
oh dear, this Dad. Let me go to this.
Yeah, because I looked at the Twitch stream and saw a black background. It's like,
Uh-oh. Oh dear. Alright. I'm choosing DAZ. Now this will show. Alright. Oh, thank you. Crackers. Okay. I am so sorry. I didn't know I had a blank screen. I switched it when I went to show you the picture that I rendered. So, okay. Now we're going to select him. We're going to go up here and select Genesis 8.1 male. And we're going to go to hair. And I'm going to go to short hair. And I'm going to pick the Arden hair. I really like this hair. So, okay, now here's how you get the hair color you want. You go down here to the Arden hair, and you go to materials. And here's all the colors that April YSH has for this particular hair. There's a good bit of variation in what color you can have. And you can even go with the white and pink. Cool, huh? So, now, say he's supporting breast cancer research, so he's dyed his hair pink. Okay. Now, we're not through yet. We have not selected his eye color. Now, he has a default skin, so we're going to stick with that. Let's say I want a little darker skin. We can put him like that. And I need to go up and select him again. And I'll go down to surfaces. And I'm going to open that up. And there's a selection called Skin, Lips, and all that. You just need that. Now, and you're not seeing a map because it's a bunch of maps, right? The skin of each area of the body has its own map. So you're not going to see, when you're choosing multiple things, you're not going to see just one map, and it can only show one at a time. So just because there's no map shown there, don't think, oh, my character's broken. No. Those maps are there. It's just it can't show but one at a time. But you can select all of this at once and give it one uniform shade. So now you can go here and you can pick what color you want his skin to be. Now, if you're going for, say, a dark skin color, you can do that. And you get this lovely bronze brown. So now I'm going to put a light in there, and my favorite light is the Brilliance set for dark skin. Now I'm also going to set the skin SSS down some because dark skin is not as reflective. So if you have the SSS set lower, you will get a darker skin tone. So now let's go, and we've got him dressed. I'm not going to do shoes because we're doing this kind of portrait. So we are just going to have him like that. Now I need eye color. So again, we're going to materials, we're going to eyes, and we're going to eye colors. And let's give him some really pretty brown eyes. We could go with that, but that's more colorful, so I'm going to go for this one. Give him kind of honey colored eyes. Okay. And now we are ready to, let's see, we've got hair, we've got skin color, we've got clothes, and we've got a nice pose. So we need a facial expression, don't we? So for that, we're going to select his head. So if you're going up the skeleton, you're going to go for the abdomen, abdomen lower, abdomen upper, chest lower, chest upper, and the neck is going to be off of the chest. So neck lower, right here, neck upper, and head. At this point, you should be able to go into parameters, pose controls, and now you've got some expressions. So if you go to expressions, alright, now I have an expression package. I have a couple of expression packages. I can have him coughing, but I think I'll just go, I can make him happy. Now this is a package that I bought to be able to get facial expressions. Why is his expression not changing? Well, let's see. Right, well, we are supposed to be seeing a happy face, but I'm not getting that. Let's see. And we can adjust his neck. We can bend his head. So if we wanted to look up, say he was brooding, and then he looks up and sees his girl, and or maybe he's checking out something. Okay, so there you go. Now, alright, so I've got, and I could work with that lower neck too. Say he's looking up, so we can work with that too, and kind of like that. So, alright, now we have his eye color, his skin color, and everything, and lights. We have no lights in this scene, so we need to go to the content library because we'll just have to do that. So I'm going to go up to B and get my brilliance lights. So if you don't see one of the products that you know you have, you can go to the content library and just look for the product. So I'm in products and I'm looking for my brilliance lights. So I'll go down here until I see the brilliance lights. Okay, and for a darker skin like this, I will pick the Brilliance set number 5. And you see, that's a lot different. So now, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to select the lights, first of all. And I'm going to make sure that the parent of those lights is him. And you notice it says none. Well, I don't want it to be none. I want it to be him, right? So, because these are portrait lights, so I want them pointing at him. Now, you don't see any difference yet, but now I'm going to go to parameters, and I'm going to go to rotation. And I'm going to rotate on the X until I get that light where I want it. Much better. Now I'm going to rotate it on the Y axis, which is the up and down. And I'm going to rotate it on the Z, which is side to side. Now I've got him the way I want him. Now this is not how the final render is going to look. You have to render it first. So I'm going to go down to Render Settings, and general is where you want to be. And you can look at all these different kinds of things depending on what size you want the final picture to be. If you want it to be large, then you can set it, and also you can have it 4:3 like a PC screen. You can have it widescreen like movies that are widescreen. You can have it Ultra HD. You can have it Full HD. So you've got a lot of choices here. But basically, these are the aspect ratio that your final picture will be. And for a portrait, I want it to look more like a book cover. So I have this custom one I made. And basically, you can do one of these choices is, let's see if I can see it, golden ratio portrait. You can do that, and I like it a little wider, but hey, you know, this is the default golden ratio portrait. And I can just have it do that, and it will be 3,000 pixels high and 1,854 pixels wide. And the pixels, or pixels rather, got pixels.com on the brain where I get photographs from. The pixels determine how many little dots of color will be in your screen. So the more pixels, the bigger your picture will be. So we're gonna do a still image. We're not doing an animation, but we could do an animation. And we're gonna do this direct to file because it's a lot quicker. And this time we're going to do a different name. And this is, I'm gonna put Genesis. Oh, you know what? I forgot the most important thing. And you can't put a dot in a file name because it will mess it up. So I'm putting a dash instead of the dot for 8.1. Alright. I have forgotten the most important thing. You want to go into your parameters on this character, and you want to make this character your own. So you're going to go into shaping, and you're going to go into people, and depending on how you want the guy to look. Now if you go into people and you've got these people already in here. Now I bought David, but and Callan, but and I bought Michael 8. So you may not see any, you know, and I've also bought Graylian. So any figures that you have bought, like Raw Cat Guy, are going to show up here by default. But you're probably not going to see any people. But you can go real world, and if you don't have anything out here to do sliders, don't panic, because you can always do this from scratch. And I have an alien body shape modification package that is very good. But if you're just working with the body, if you're just doing real world and you're just going to give him a shape that you've got in your head and you want to make him look that way, so you can go to your head parameters, and these are called morphs. So if you don't have any morphs, any face morphs or anything like that, then of course you're not going to have these sliders. I've bought many of these packages over the years. The most useful of these is the Faces of the World packages, and there are three. There's one for Europe, there's one for Asia, and there's one for Africa. So, if you're doing a person of color, they're not going to look like a white person. I mean, they may, but they're usually going to have some facial characteristics. So I have the Faces of Africa package. So if you want them to look more North African, you can see as I move this slider that is giving him some North African features. So you can vary these and add a little East African in there. Just a bit. And I'll go with that. And gradually I'm turning this stock character that has one look into the way I'm imagining this man looks. So you can, play with the sliders and make him look the way you want him to look. So now I've got him a little more ethnic looking. And this hair may or may not fit with the ethnicity that I've got. So, okay. So I can work with his face. Now, if you're working with a part of the body, zoom in on that part of the body. Do not try to manipulate this stuff when you are a mile away, because it will not look as good. So that's a little pro tip for you. Zoom in on whatever you are working on so that you can see what changes you're making. And don't do anything extreme. You'll notice that all these sliders say 0. And you really don't want to go over 25% most of the time, because you can break your model and have to start all over again. So if you make a change and you don't like it, Control Z is your friend. That makes it like you didn't touch the slider. So don't make extreme changes because they won't look realistic. And it's better to go by a photograph to do this. I'm just doing it out of my head because it's 10:45 already and I want to end the live stream soon. But if I was going to really do a good job at this, I would go on Pexels.com and find a photograph of somebody that looks like my character. Then I would go into DAZ and try to make this character look like the picture. But just for the sake of time, I'm going to kind of do the eyes, and I've got too much there, so I'm gonna, let's see. Oh, that's already dialed in, so I'm not going to fool with the eyes anymore. Let's see. And as you can see, I've already got figures in here, so I'm gonna leave it like it is, but if I wanted to make it a little different, I could. And there's just subtle changes you can do. That's probably way too much. Way too much. Okay. So if I want to, now I have teeth adjustments because I got a package for that, but these are the default things. So say I want to make his upper lip height a little closer to his nose, I can do that. If I want to do the lip upper outer curves a little more, I can do that. And I can kind of manipulate random things. Faces are not symmetrical, so if you don't learn anything else from this video, think about that. Faces are not symmetrical, so you don't want to have your face totally symmetrical. So you're gonna maybe move the mouth over slightly, or have a little, a little asymmetry. You can also work with mouth width and some of these I can't tell what they are, but I'm just kind of manipulating them to see where they are. And ears, so you can give his ears a little different shape. And there's all sorts of things you can work with. Now, the parts that aren't going to show in the picture, I'm not going to fiddle with, but I can. Now, again, you want to look at the part that you are manipulating. So we're working on his chest. We can make his sternum a little wider. We can work on collarbone detail. Put more detail in that, and I need to move this down so I'm seeing what I'm doing. So I'm going to give him more detail in his collarbone and arch the ribs a little bit. And then his hands, let's see his hands. Hands are so important. That's one of the most important things to work with. So you can work with finger length. You can give him long fingers like a guitarist would need, or short fingers like a pianist. So you can think about how you want his hands to look. If you want him to look more beefy or more slender, and you can make his fingers wider. Say he's strong, he's probably going to have wide fingers, and you could just do the right hand a little differently than the left. And you could make his hands thicker or thinner, depending. And his waist, you can and for full body, there should be things like, these adjustments should be on here, so you can make him like a bodybuilder. And again, I would not go over 25% on any of these parameters. And you notice that the bodybuilder